Fret friends, we have something on the bench today that I've really been looking forward to getting started on. It's been here quite a while, it's been here a few weeks. I've had such an influx of work this year of our Lord 2020, and with me now working for Royal Mail, I've not had as much time to work on guitars as I normally would. This, but look at it, well, just wow. You know, look at it. What would you have thought that was? You wouldn't have gone for a Michael Kelly, would you? But it's a Michael Kelly guitar, and it looks like a PRS, doesn't it? Like a high-end PRS. The maple cap there is just stunning. EMG active pickups would not be my choice, but each to their own. Don't get me wrong, I do like active pickups. I actually have Seymour Duncan Blackouts on one of my guitars, and it's a fantastic guitar. But look at this. The top is amazing, it's stunning. The back, plain, being mahogany, definitely a mahogany body with a maple cap. I hope a maple cap, not a veneer, probably a maple cap top. Not just binding on this, but inlaid as well. Look at the neck and the body there, inlays and binding. And what makes this a special job for me is, this is coming for a refret. And I've never worked around inlays before. Binding, yes, I've done, but not the inlays as well. So I'm hoping I don't tug the inlays out when I pull the frets out. Shouldn't do, should be absolutely fine. But what a stunning guitar. It is a Michael Kelly Patriot Premium guitar. Fantastic, isn't it? So I'm just reading up a little bit on Michael Kelly. And Michael Kelly is someone who has guitars built. It's a company that have guitars built to their specification. Don't want to see any reviews, don't want to sign up for anything, get off. So I'm just being inundated with adverts at the minute. I don't know what's happened there, it'll pop up now. Fantastic, just what I needed. So let's go and see if there's any about. More join, login. No, don't want to join anything, thank you. Community, blog, our story. There you go. Our story, this is what we need. Started in 1999, Michael Kelly Guitars has always taken a unique path. The focus has always been to start with sound and top it off with a bold boutique-inspired appearance. When Michael Kelly launched, we in fact only offer mandolins on an acoustic basis. These two markets have been underserved and consumers could not buy a great sounding instrument without breaking the bank. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, moving on. By 2001, Michael Kelly Guitars added its first acoustic and electric guitars. These collections have evolved and are sold around the world. To this day, Michael Kelly remains focused on our vision. Meet the team, yeah, and that's really it. So it's not going to be a great deal of information there about Michael Kelly himself, is it? Well, anyway, whatever. Okay, serial number E08081729. So would that be the 8th of August? 0808 could well be. Don't know. I'd definitely say it's the year 2008. Active pickups, beautiful looking thing. Black Grover tuners, kidney bean style. I love the kidney bean style. What a beautiful looking guitar. Anyway, it came in. The owner has bought me guitars before, and he came in and we looked at the frets, and there's a lot of wear on these frets and some deep gouges, oddly on the G string as well, but some really deep gouges. I said, look, we could level it, but we're going to get right down to the depth of our gouges, and it's not going to leave us a lot of fret. Why don't we just future-proof it, and we'll stick some new frets on there. Probably going to need a new nut as well. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because these frets are pretty low, so the nut slots are probably cut pretty low. I am thinking we'll get a new nut on there. It's a Graphtec nut. May stick a bone one on there. Can you dye a bone? I don't know. I'd like a bone nut on there myself. If not, we will go and get a new Graphtec nut, or we could actually shim this one. Don't know what to do yet, but what a stunning guitar. Where they're made, I've got no idea. I'll have to do some more research. It doesn't say where they're made. Patriot guitars, let's go and have a look. Let's see what model we got here. I know we've got Patriot Premium, it says, there you go. There's one of them, Patriot Premium. There. Let's have a look. Patriot, oh, it's a Patriot Decree, Patriot Instinct Bold, Custom Collection. Very nice. This is the one. Patriot Enlightened, and it's not quite enlightened. Very similar to the Enlightened one there, look at the bottom. That one. Mod Shot, Patriot Instinct Bare Knuckle. And there you go, pretty self-explanatory. So it's not telling us a lot. I will have to go and click one. Why don't I go and click the one that looks most like it? That one looks most like it, doesn't it? It's a very, this one with 3 knobs. Let's go for it. Patriot Enlightened. Select a colour, dark amber burst, yeah. I don't want to pick one, mate. The field playing sound exactly how I'd expect a guitar with individual makeups to perform with a demonstrable weight reduction. This ain't been weight reduced. Grade 8 mod. Neck volume, bridge volume, tone. Neck volume knob down. No, down. Did they come up and down? These aren't push and pull. Okay, different guitar. Because we've got active pickups on this. But anyway, it looks most like that one, doesn't it? The Patriot Enlightened. Looks most like that one. Lightweight version of the Patriot. Right, so it will be a lighter version. This is not a lighter version. Oh, did you know Bread Cedar was a member of the mahogany family? I didn't. Okay. It's not giving me any more information there. It's something I'm going to have to go look up later. I'm not going to waste time on this video just looking for bumps to tell you about. I don't need to include any of that. So we have Michael Keller Patriot Premium guitar with binding and abalone inlays, inlaid all round. It's coming for a refret. I've had this plugged in, I've played it, it sounds pretty good. The electrics don't need any attention, so it just really needs a refret. Because it's got binding and because it's got an ebony fingerboard, there are extra charges. I've already talked with the owner about the charging on this. Ebony is a swine. It does have an ebony fingerboard. Ebony is a swine because it chips and you cannot avoid it. So it's going to chip. There's going to be quite a lot of repairs to have to do on that. All I can really do now is I'm going to get the nut. I'm going to get the strings off, get the nut off, and we're going to look at removing these frets. May have to use some heat. The fret wire we're going with, by the way, is going to be Syntom's Elite. I've been using Syntom's, which is it Ukrainian? Fret wire, or from Ukraine or somewhere like that. I've been using Syntom's for just over a year now, and the hardest fret wire you can only get is 18% nickel silver. Regular fret wire that we're using up to about 5, 6, 7 years ago, but probably some manufacturers still use it, it's 12% nickel silver. I started using the harder stuff, 18% nickel silver, which gives you a lot more wearability, can last a lot longer. And Syntom's came out with Syntom's Elite last year. It's 25% nickel silver. It's supposed to be getting up towards the hardness of stainless steel. It isn't as hard as stainless steel. I put it around about the same kind of strength as Evo Gold by Jescar, which is again a hard fret wire which hardly wears. And it certainly is a harder fret wire than I've used. I've probably done my last 9 or 10 fret jobs using this Syntom's Elite, and everyone loves it. It doesn't change the tone as much as stainless steel does, but it lasts a lot longer. How long, I don't know. And the good thing about it is it tends to be slightly higher fret wire. In most cases up to 1.4mm height, which I love because it means down the line, 15-20 years down the line, you're going to be able to skim those frets and recrown them, and maybe even twice. It means your frets should last. I'd be very surprised if this 25% nickel silver didn't last 20 years before it needed a fret skim and a reprofile. Maybe longer, I don't know, it depends how heavy you play you are. But I certainly really like the fret wire. It's certainly going to last a lot longer than this stuff on here now anyway, so, you know, really good. The good thing about it is it's not expensive fret wire either. So we're going to go with the fret wire, we're going to go Syntom's Elite fret wire, brand new nut, there's 25 quid. 175 for refret, takes up to 200, and we've got the extras for the working around the ebony and the inlays. I've already quoted the price, he's accepted the price, so all remains for me to do now is to crack on with the job, get the frets out, get the guitar all taped up, strapped up, cleaned up and protected so we can't damage anything. Then we can remove the frets and start getting the new ones in. I doubt I'll be getting the new ones in today, but I can certainly have these frets out and we can see where we are. Once that's done, I have a couple of things I can be cracking off. I've got quite a few. 1, 2, 3. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 7 guitars up there on the board, and some of them. This is a refret. I've got some real big jobs up there. Got a really interesting job coming from Japan of all places. Tell you more about that later. So I'm going to crack on, and I'll come back with an update soon. I have the strings off. I have the truss rod cover off, and first things first. This being a supposedly premium guitar, or it's labelled Michael Kelly Patriot or Patriot Premium, I would have liked to have seen a nut of that truss rod like on a Gibson or an Edwards or some high end, higher end guitar or bigger end guitar, PRS even. I'd like to see a nut on there rather than the hex Allen wrench type adjuster, which is, it's a 4mm. Not that there's anything wrong with those Allen wrench types, it's just I would have liked to have seen a nut on there a la Gibson. And that had made me think this is a better made guitar. So anyway, I've got a not straight edge on there. Just going to straighten the neck. I've got to actually just drop the camera. Just move it around just a little so you can see the guitar. You don't need to see me. There you go. How's that for you? And I'm just going to basically get that neck dead straight. It's not far off as it is. A little bit of back bow in there. We need to release a little tension on the truss rod. It's a two-way. That's interesting. 24 3/4 scale length. Okay, that looks pretty straight. Pretty good. Just go back a notch. Right, that's putting some relief in there. That's straight. So we have a straight neck right there. That's fine. Hardly any tension on that at all. That is fantastic. Pleased with that. Right, the frets. Frets are really low, and I'm going to try and show you why we're going for a refret. Why? It's blatantly obvious. I can see from here. Wow. The deep indentation along where this G string goes down here, but I'm going to try and bring up to the camera just so you can see. I'm going to get a decent angle, and there you go. And I'm hoping you can see the wear on these frets, but particularly on the G string down these frets here. Really, really deep. So we're going to replace the frets. We're going to go with something slightly bigger. Like I said, I'm just going to measure these. Probably not as big as the wire I'm going for. I'm going with a jumbo wire, a medium jumbo. I should have some in here. Just need to get my digital caliper out. Bear with me. This is my box of, well, one box of fret wire I have. I've got to get digital calipers out. We're just going to measure these frets. I would have thought they'd be about 2.8. I'm sure I measured them. Did I measure them? I'm going to find out. But the thing is, the problem, not so much a problem, but what we have to do with a bound neck, we've got to cut the frets inside. We've got to cut the tank inside the binding. For starters, let's zero that out. We'll go in millimetres, and we will look at the width of these frets. 2.81, so they are 2.8, 2.7, I say 2.75 now. Check this. So we're a medium jumbo anyway. 2.69, 2.7, 2.69, 2.57. Let's go with 2.69 or whatever it says there. That's saying 2. It's definitely 2.7, 2.8, 2.77 there. Let's see what that is in. I'm saying 2.83. Let's just get it back. That's 2.79-ish. We're going to see that in inches, and that's 0.1095. That could be, so it's 2.78, it's taking 2.78, we are about 2.7, so we are around about 2.8, 2.7, 2.8, or in inches, 0.109. As near as anything, it's going to be 1.8. Okay, so off with the caliper, 2.8, sorry, not 1.8. I have in here, looked out on this one, I had a full pack of Syntoms 2.8 there. There's actually more than a full pack now, there's a full pack, some extra. That is the fret wire. This is the hardest, it's not the hardest stuff I've used, it's right up there with the hardest. So it's as hard as Gold Evo. Look, you can hardly move that. It is so solid. It's pre-radiused, it's radiused perfect. I could possibly radius it just a tad. I think it'll be alright. I have a 12-inch radius on here. So I don't need to touch the fret wire. I can just cut it to length. Each fret will be cut to width and the tangs will be trimmed inside the binding. Now the problem with this is I'm removing the frets. Once I get in there, this is ebony, so it's got a chip, and as it chips I've got to repair it. Also I'm going to have to carve inside the slots. I'm going to try and pull one out without using heat. So just give me a second. I should grab these tools, shouldn't I, before? I'm going to just grab a couple of fret pullers. I have two types. I have a lot of Syntoms gear. I have Syntoms tang nippers. These were a pretty penny. I think they were 85, 90 quid. Oh, I've got Guitars and Woods fret pullers, great tool, and I've got my old trusty fret puller that I had precision made. So I'm just going to go in, I'm just going to see if I can pull a fret. Nope, we're not going to be able to pull a fret like that, it's so low. I can hardly get a grip on those frets. They are so low. This could be a bit of a problem job. Regardless of it being a problem job or not, I will get them out. There you go. There's one that's coming straight out. Okay. I have a tiny bit of chipping, but nothing to worry about. Right, getting through the abalone is not going to be a problem at all. That came out really quite well. I am going to use some heat, because they're not all going to come out like that. And the good thing about this is I have a great little tool by Hosco. Again, Japanese, I have a lot of Japanese gear. And this is a saw, both sides, and it cuts both ways. And what we're going to do is we're just going to clear out the slot, that side. There's no glue in there. I don't think these have been glued in. That slot is already clear. Okay, that is really, really pleasing to see. I'm going to go with the other side of the blade. One's a push, one's a pull. I don't want to cut through the binding, but there you go, we have one out, and that's out pretty cleanly. Really, really pleased with that. I'm going to knock the nut off as well while we're here. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a blade, just going to score where the nut meets the lacquer there. Because this will stop it chipping. There's a little bit of lacquer cracking already. Can't do anything about that. We do our best, but it's not possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very gently tap the nut. We're going to try knock it off gently like so, and there you go. The plastic nut or graphite nut, definitely going to replace that. We're going to go and get a Graphtec one. So I'm going to find out the width and the size of that nut, probably get one a little bit taller. The nut's off, nice and clean. Little tiny crack on the lacquer there, always happens, cannot be avoided for the most part. We can tidy that up, not a problem. So it doesn't look as if it's going to be too difficult to refret this one. What I am going to do though, we are going to re-radius the whole fingerboard. So we're going to get, once we know the radius, which should be 12, we're going to get a radius block on there with some sandpaper, and we're just going to smooth it all off. We'll have all the pickups covered. In fact, already. I'm going to drop pickups into the body of the guitar. So get them right out of the way. If they will go, oh there you go, that's fell in. That's good, that'll do. Get those out of the way. If I really had to, I could take the electric plate off. I could take the plate off and remove the pickups altogether and get these completely out of the way if I really needed to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything up, cover everything, reinforce everything. That's dry. There you go, that's fine. There you go, that's right out of the way. That's wonderful. Okay, very good with that, pleased. So you'll basically see me prepping for the refret. Now I'm going to take a precision straight edge. Veritas, best of gear this. I'm going to just rest it across the fresh. Just make sure we're missing everything. Now, obviously we can hit the bridge there, but we are way above the pickups. Remove the bridge. Should come straight off, but it's not. Means his posts are not square. Get them all the way in. I should also lift this off. Well, maybe it's locked on. It's a locking. It's a locking bridge. Typical. Need an Allen key. Excuse me. Allen key. I'll be looking at. It's not American, so let's go with 1.3. Give me a 1.3 or a 1.5. I wager at 1.5. Yep. That's why I wouldn't pull off. Locking. 1.5mm Allen wrench. Quick turn. And we should be free. There you go. Yep, it's beautiful. Good idea, great idea. So we know that goes on that way. For the sake of whatever, we'll just leave those in, screw them all the way in. That's good. Bridge out of the way. In the pot with the rest of the gear. Old nut, need to measure that. So we know where we are. Not going to be too difficult a job. Cutting the frets will be the big thing on this. So we are prepping for removing the frets. I don't think they're glued in. If you're not glued in, it makes them come out a lot easier, which is always good news. Just tidy up my working area. That one's not going to be any good. That out of the way. Again. Can you see enough there? I'm not going to zoom in on anything. I'm just going to go and get my, what is this called? These are called chip stoppers. Tools I got from Stumac. I bought quite a lot of gear from Stumac in 2019. That's the gubbins. Called a chip stopper. What you do is, once you've got one end up, you slide this under the fret and slide it along as you remove the fret, and it stops you getting chips, apparently. Now, me being an Englishman, I can't say, boy, I love chips. But chips potatoes, of course, fried potato chips. Not the American chips, which we call crisps. Fries. And this, by the way, should stop the fingerboard chipping, or if it does chip, the chips should stay on the guitar so you can just glue them straight back in. Can you see any of that? I hope you can. But that's kind of nice and clean. So these have come out really, really well. I'm expecting some resistance up the other end of the guitar. You normally get a lot of resistance up here for some reason. But I'm going to take my time with these. I love doing refrets, but they're not a 5-minute job. You've got to take your time. There you go. So we're not getting any major chipping. One big chip there. I'm going to get some super glue out. I'm going to repair that while it's in the guitar. No major chipping there. There's one there and there's one there. So chips are going to have to be repaired. I'm going to really take my time with this. Make the job super neat, super clean. We're going to remove the three-way. I'll take the back plate off. We're going to get that out. So it's because I need to tape up all this area for working on the neck. This one will be going on the jig at some point, so we can get the neck dead straight and we can basically re-radius the whole board. May not need re-radiusing, but what we're going to do is we are going to run the radius block over there with some sandpaper, probably some 400 grit, and just smooth it all off. Just make sure we've got that consistent radius all the way along the length of the neck. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to pull all of these. and I'm going to set up my station ready for getting this on the jig, but the majority of the work on this I think I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I've got a few things on tonight. I've got a pool match tonight as well. I'm finishing. I'm leaving here at 5 p.m. So that'll be that. So I haven't got much longer left to work. What time is it now? It is 20 past 2 in the afternoon. I've got 2.5 hours left on this. Not going to do a lot. Probably do another hour on this. Get these frets out. Get everything tidied up, and we'll crack on with this one tomorrow. As you can see, I've got the frets out. Some chipping. Not as bad as it normally goes, you know, but there's still quite a few to repair. Quick count out: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Round about 20 chips to repair. Not too bad. Seem much worse. Not going to be doing any more today because I've got to take the dog out. Definitely need to sand this fingerboard down, so we'll get a radius block on there. I'll do all this, I'll get it all set up later, and it's something I can do tomorrow. Can't repair the cracks or the chips because I had a brand new pot of super glue. I put it out, ready to chip some into another bottle, just put it on the side for a minute while I was doing something, knocked it over, lost the whole bottle. So I have no super glue, so I can't even repair this now, probably until next week, unless I go out to a local shop and get some super glue. I'm thinking of just going to get some off eBay, and that'll arrive next week. So I'm going to put this one basically on hold. Things I can do in the meantime while I wait for super glue to arrive is get it on my neck jig, get this all sanded down, clear all the slots, and get all the new frets cut. You know, if nothing else, the repairs I'll do when the glue gets here. So this one's on hold for a short while. Unless I nip out and get some glue today, I'll come back and let you know. Good morning, fret friends. So, see the guitar with the frets out. Now I've got quite a few chips to repair, but I can't do it yet because I spilt my super glue yesterday, my last bottle, and I spilt the whole bottle. Fortunately, it didn't touch any guitars or any major equipment. It just went all over the table, so I was able to clean it up pretty quickly. But I've got to nip out and get some today, which I'm going to do shortly. But I'm just going to show you where I am with the guitar now. It's going to need sanding down. Re-radiusing to some extent, only a very little amount because we've just got small ridges here, so we're going to smooth all that off. I'm going to show you the old frets as well while I'm here, and hopefully you can see that one. And look, there's nothing on them at all. There's probably just over 0.5 millimetre of height on there, just virtually nothing on them. Probably a bit more, about 0.7 millimetres tops, but those frets had it, so we're going to bin those. Get them out of the way in a minute. Just nothing on them. I mean, look at that. There's nothing on them at all. Anyway, moving on. What we're going to have to do is we're going to cut these frets. I'm going to make each fret fit these slots, and how we do that is we've got to cut them to exact size. Just going to make sure I've got 2 on here. I might just get 2 out of that. Just have a quick measure. So I'm going to take these cutters, new cutters these, I got these from Japan. I hardly used them before because my old cutters just still work brilliantly. And these aren't that good. They're nowhere near as good as my old cutters, I don't think. But let's have a look. Got 2 lengths there. Right, one's probably going to be too short. No, we're fine with that one. These are nowhere near as good as I thought they would be. Piano wire cutters made in Japan. So sometimes, you know, things don't quite work out. I got these ones here from my favourite tool maker in Greece, and that's GMI, a guy called Harris. And I've had these 5 years, and they're just brilliant. They cut really well. But anyway, let's show how we fit a fret. So first we're going to take some tang nippers or tang cutters. We use them that way. I don't know if you can see, but what we do is we place, it's basically got a cutter in there, we've got a guide, and we just place a fret inside like so. Now that's not going to cut too well because the wire at the end is bent. So those cutters I just used not much cut. I'm going to straighten, there we go. And I'm only going to show this once on one fret. I'm going to show it twice actually, but we just put the fret in there, nippers in, so it's nice. should sit nice and level. Why is that not going in? So you can see, place inside the nipper there. Maybe I just need to adjust my cutter. There you go. There you go. Place in, last couple of millimetres in there, nip. And can you see there? Can you see where it's cut this tang off this side? And anyway, we're going to measure the tang. We've got loads there. We'll take a little bit more off that side because we do have a gnarly edge there. So again, just place in. And there you go. You can see it's cut the nib. And now I'm going to do the same the other side. Just cut a small amount off because I want this to sit right inside. There you go. I just want this to sit right inside where that slot is. We're still a little bit too wide, so I'm going to go just a little bit more. Still too much. Keep measuring and cutting, measuring and cutting. I think we're going to be just about exact there. That's perfect, look at that. And that is going to sit, can you see there? I'm actually going to zoom in for you. How's that? You see, I've got the guitar all taped up for when we strap it into the neck jig later, if we go with the neck jig. But that tape is also there for when we file the frets. Let me just show you where we're. There you go. Excuse me. That's good. So now you can see, cutting each fret or the tang to sit just inside the binding. And there you go. And once I've got that to where I need it to be, that's fine where it is. I will take the nipper though and I will just nip off that side, and again come and nip off this side, and there you go. We have one fret cut to width. Now what I'll do with the frets once I've cut them is take my fret holder like so, and that is beautiful. And you see how the tang sits just inside the binding. That is perfect. We know it's going to go in, and there you go. And then we'll press these down, or we'll hammer them in. Once that's done, I'll stick fret 1 in the holder there, and that's it, and we'll move on to fret 2. So same again. In fact, I could probably, if I go further up with this, which I can, probably get fret 5 out of that, maybe even 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's wide enough for 6, we'll put it in 6, and we are wide enough, and that way we get more use out of the fret wire. Doesn't take long to do. I'm just slowing it down just for the camera. There you go. Still too wide, which is great. These cutters are amazing. It says they won't cut stainless. We do cut stainless because I've done a stainless steel refret using these cutters, but you have to be a little bit more careful when you're cutting. Just a tiny bit more off this edge. I'm thinking, there you go, how's that? How is that? So we're going to place it in fact, you know what, I'm just going to stick this one in 5, I think. No, it's going to be 6 because the width is right for 6. So, again, place the fret where it needs to be. Cutters come and cut right to the edge. It means we have to trim less off later. And there you go. Number 6. How's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. I'll do next. I'll take a brand new strip. So you see how that works. So we've got fret 1 cut, like so. Tang width. Fret 6 cut. Right, I'm going to go around to my text because I've got a lot happening today. I've got someone bringing guitars in today. I am full for the next 3 weeks. I've got a lot, and probably maybe even the next 4 weeks, which is fantastic. I've already got a month's work. Financially, I've got a month's work in, no problem. But there you go. That's the first 2 cut. I'm going to crack on, cut all of the others. Once they're all done, they'll go in the block and they're ready for installing. Hey fret friends, well we had a little bit of a bit of a delay in refreshing this guitar because not long after I did the last part of the video, I was called into Royal Mail and I went out and worked for Royal Mail that day. So, and I worked the day after also, Friday and Saturday. So I didn't get the refret done. But what I did do is I did yesterday, got all the frets cut. Now, the thing is with that, taping the body up, which we always do. We always tape the body up just so when we're working around this area, if we dig in, we're not going to cause any damage. But I've jumped the gun a bit and I've taped up the pickups and realising now that I have to remove the pickups because if I don't remove the pickups, I'm not going to do the beveled edges here and here because I'm going to come in with a file and chances are it's going to be really difficult to do without digging into the pickup rings. So I'm going to remove this tape and I'm going to remove the pickup rings and the pickups and then I'm going to tape it all up again. Something else I am going to do today, we're going to get this on the neck jig. We're going to measure the radius or check the radius and we're going to sand the board down, we're going to re-radius it and then we're going to fill in these chips. Now like I said, I've got about 20. Looking back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7, we're going to be more than that, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, no, we're still about 20, 21, 22, 22 or 23, so it's not too many. It's still, that's all I'm going to probably do today on this guitar. So remove the pickups, do the fingerboard, get it all re-radiused and fill in about 20, 23 chips. Once that's done, we'll see how we go on. I may get these in. I want to get these all in one long run. Now this end of the guitar will not fit under my press. We'll only be able to get under the press from about fret 12 down. So the first half of frets are going to be hammered in. Chances are I will hammer them in and clamp them for a good hour or so. Could do it in 2 parts that way. We'll see how we go on. The frets, like I say, the frets are all cut to size. It's why you have varying lengths from fret 24 there to fret number 1 there. I think you'll see that you can see the tangs, all precision cut. They're not exact. It'd be impossible to get them exact, but they are very close with a tiny little bit of overlap. So they're all going to sit pretty in there. I won't be gluing them in. I will be using what do we call it? Tie bond original as a gap filler between the bottom of the fret and the slot itself. So we'll fill the slots with some glue. Any squeeze out will wipe up, and that'll just fill those gaps under there. Nothing untoward with this. It's going to take a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I do have it on the board down for the 2nd to the 5th. Well, I didn't start it yesterday, but I've got till the 5th. We are the 3rd today, so I've got till Wednesday. It could take until Wednesday, which is absolutely fine. Gives me a lot of time. Now I've got a full day at it today, barring I've got to pick my wife up from work. This is one of the weeks where I take my wife to work, pick her up from work. So I will get a full day today, full day tomorrow, bar nipping out and walking the dog. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm probably going to work at Royal Mail, so I'll be getting like 3rd days, probably get 4 hours per day. So I've worked out a schedule on the board up there. It's all going to work pretty well. If it goes according to plan, I've got enough work in to last me till the end of the month. I've got people waiting to come in again, but you know, maybe it's possible I could get things done a little bit quicker, so we'll see how we go on. So there's nothing to rush in this workshop. I'll be taking this nice and steady. It's more about getting it right than getting it done quickly. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get the pickups removed, get it all on my neck jig, and I'll bring you back in and you can see where we are. So I'm going to show something you don't normally see on camera. There are quite a lot of things I do off camera that never make it onto the final videos, and this one I'm going to be setting up the neck jig for the guitar. We're going to put the guitar here, the body's going to be here, we're going to have a neck straight across here with the 0 gauge dials. We'll have it all strapped in, and these are going to be the support rods. These move up and down. I built this thing myself. It's a copy of a StuMac thing. And I'm going to show basically, well, I'm going to explain, I'm going to show, I'm going to explain how we get it all set up. I've got a piece of MDF board which is where the body of the guitar rests, and what we're always looking to do is we're looking to get more or less perfectly straight, regardless of the floor, whether the floor's skew with that way or that way or whatever. I'm always trying to get a level playing field, so this is why I bought myself a proper, decent spirit level. And we're looking to come straight across here, which is fine, across here, which is fine. And we're just going to set the guitar and see what we need to do regards going up and down. Now, this was set up for an SG, so it's going to be miles out for this guitar. Now the neck's almost straight this way, but we need to drop down a good lot, probably 2 inch, and probably more at this end. So what I'm going to do is remove all this, and I'm going to screw these right in. And we can set it any way we want, any level. I'm going to drop these. But again, this thing takes time. It's not something you can do in 2 minutes. Probably going to take me 25 minutes to set this up properly and get the guitar strapped in. These are going to go all the way down to the base. It's a matter of just keep coming back. Now these move up left and right any way you want. So these are feet normally for a probably small table or something. There is on my YouTube page there's instructions for building this. I would like some more support rods in here, probably one there, close to that one, and another one there, just to make things a little bit better. I do have the steel, I've just not got round to doing it, so there you go again. And again, checking this way, needs to come up at the back, needs to come up at the back, or down at the front. A nice firm base, don't want no rocking anywhere, because I'm going to strap the guitar to this, the guitar body. So again, it's nice and straight across that way. So you just come down a bit on here. Not as much as we're going to get, but just see where we are. That feels good because it sits straight on there without wobbling. So let's have a look. Just go down on that corner again. Just a little bit. Feels pretty good to me. Hasn't got to be perfectly level. Straight, so that feels pretty good. And again, we're going to fetch the guitar. You see where we are now. You see, we're getting there. We're already touching this one. We need to just bring it up at the back now. So bring it up at the back, and we're going to be there. Need to bring it up about 8 or 9 mil. We're going to be close to where we need to be. So with those how I like them, bring these back up. Try there. Now this one on this corner is now low, so we're going to. Feels pretty good. So you're getting the idea, yeah? I'm sorry I keep getting in the way of the camera, can't be helped. Let's see where we are. Right, we still need to come down at the front or up at the back, because we need this. That's fine. Just need to go down a little bit at the back there. A couple of ways I can do this. Three turns I think. 3 turns on each should be about right. And there you go. Now we're a little bit too low. Are we too low? As long as we can pull that back, we're alright. We are too low. So we're going to bring it up again. Like I say, small adjustments. We've got to get the height right, Because when I clamp it down, where are we there? You see, I'm liking this. So we're going to get this central to where we need to be. And what we want is, we want both of these, there you go. There you go, how good's that? And we want these that we can release and just let go. So these are always going to sit, that's it, that's perfect. I've actually done that really, really quick. It's very rare we get it done this quick. So what we're going to do is, I'll be strapping the guitar around here. Normally I use 2 straps. Now the thing is I've only got one snapped. So I'm going to go with 1. But we're going to do it that tight, it's going to hold the guitar right there. And once that's done, we're going to get the neck set dead straight. Once it's straight, we're going to get with 0 gauges, set this to 0, and we're going to bring these up just to support the neck without moving it. So the neck will then be dead straight with the guitar clamps, and then we can work on the neck. We can re-radius the fingerboard. We can clean it all up and get it ready for the frets. So, things you don't normally see. I'm not going to show you the rest of it, I'm going to get it all clamped up and done properly. I can explain how I would do that. I'll explain some little bits. Because what I need to do with this is, this will be clamped both ends. I'll have a big G clamp there and a big G clamp here. And this will not move at all. If this is not moving and the guitar's in tight, the guitar won't move. So what I'll do is I'll just lift up this end. That's just so I can get a strap underneath. I've only got one of these. I'll have to go out and buy some more. I went to get some yesterday. You know, they're selling them in 4s. I don't want 4. What one snap lock. I didn't keep the metal bit, otherwise I could have possibly had a look at repairing it. So I've only got one. This means I can only use one. Just work out how it goes. That's right. Don't worry about the guitar, maybe I'll sort that out in a minute. There you go. That's going to work like so. Go it the wrong way around. Turn it around. I'll get some better ones next time. This one's fraying a little bit, so this one's on its way out. It's probably not going to last too much longer. And we're just going to basically clamp this in, or strap it in, should I say. So you get how it works, blah 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 blah, like so. Going to get some wires around here first. What we need to do is we need to support. Bloody hell's that called? The edge of the guitar. We don't want to dig in or flake any paintwork, so we are going to put some felt corners on there. You see how it works. And I'm going to get it close. I'm not going to clamp it in right just yet. But ideally, I'll be using 2 of these straps. What I'm going to do is, being as you're here and I've already started it, I might as well crack on now and get it done on camera. I want that right in the middle. I want these steel bars in the middle. That's pretty good. And I'm just going to tighten up this. That's very, very tight. It's going nowhere. So there you go, the guitar is strapped in. Check down the line. Everything's in the middle. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We can remove this block and then we can clamp everything down. So the guitar neck is right down the middle. What we're going to do is check that it's level. And it isn't yet. So I'm going to get it all levelled up. Once it's all levelled up, we will bring up these steel bars to the top there. We'll lock them all off like so. We'll strap this end and we'll set these dials to 0. And then if we get any movement at all, I'll show you in a minute. That was that 0. And there you go, if you can see. Zoom in just a little. You're looking at these dials here. Got them both set to 0 now, and if we get any movement, these will move. So that's it, so it's all going to be clamped up, all supported, all strapped in, those at 0, and then we can work on the neck without it moving. It means we're going to get a pristinely radius neck. Once that's done, we can come back off the jig and we'll clean up the slots and we'll start getting the new frets in. Okay friends, something I want to show you. We have the guitar, we haven't got it set up on the neck jig yet, but I just want to show you. We're going to straighten the neck. And I've tightened the truss rod and we have got a lot of relief in there. And I'm going to show you the relief by shining a light underneath just to show what I mean. But relief is the bow, like a smiley face, a bow this way. And you probably can't see it yet, but I'm going to put a light underneath and you should be able to see it. You should be able to see now a gap from here to here. There's a gap, getting more of a gap in the middle of the guitar there, and that's what we call relief. Now when we turn the truss rod the other way, which I'm going to do, it's going to bend the opposite way and it's going to give us back bow, which means it's going to be an upside down smile or a rainbow type. And I'm going to try and show you that. Not be as emphasised, because I don't want to snap the truss rod, but you will still see it. And you've got the same sort of thing, but the middle is now in the air and the two edges are down. You see that? I'm sure you can see it. Yeah, very good. And what we're looking for is with the truss rod loose, because it's a two-way truss rod this is, with it in the middle, so it's loose like it is now, the neck should be perfectly straight. And that's how all guitars ought to be. It's not always the case, but on this one, I actually do think it is. And there's a tiny bit of relief, but I've not sanded the neck down yet, so I'm going to actually accept that as straight. It looks pretty good to me. So, I'm showing the difference between back bow and relief. We now have a neck straight. We're going to take this is a precision straight edge. Cost a few quid this, made by Veritas. Lay that across the neck, right along the middle, and that is now, that's perfectly straight. So that is where we are going to clamp the neck, or support the neck underneath using these steel rods. And again, like so. We can turn the backlight on, spotlight. And now with the straight neck and the rods supporting the neck, we can work on the fingerboard. Truss rod adjuster is stuck in there, it keeps doing that. Just gonna bring the steel rods up again. We're going to set everything in the 0 position. So I'm happy that that's all zeroed out. Once done, check these. There you go. They're zeroed out. So we now have a nice straight neck supported underneath, and we can now go at this with a radius beam with some sandpaper on it, and we can re-radius the fingerboard knowing that the neck is straight. So yeah, how's that for a view, guys? With the guitar strapped down on the neck jig, I'm able to come across with a leveling beam. Just going to clean this up a little. You can brush these things clean when you can find your brush, which is here. Just a matter of, we want to be touching more or less all of the wood. The only important parts we want to touch is a couple of bits here and a couple of bits just here. I'm going to sight down the neck from this end just to make sure we're not twisted, and we are not twisted. That is beautiful. If anything, it probably goes up a tiny bit on that corner. And what I'm going to do is, I've been doing the strokes this way, so from the camera away, now I'm going to do strokes this way. Back and forth, then I'll try and just go one way just to get some evenness, and back and forth again. I can turn the block round, and now the whole of the fingerboard has been sanded. There's no area left untouched, tiny little bits in there, but it's going to make no difference to anything. Again, clean off the dust. You can see where we've gone with that. Clean up the fingerboard, and I think you can see all of the fingerboard has now been sanded. There's not an area left that has not been sanded. This will highlight some of the chipped areas. One there, one there. Couple of small ones here, couple here, there. You can probably see them all. And I'm going to repair the chips with the guitar while it's on here, because I've got the lights from the spotlight. That feels beautiful. So one thing I need to do before I decide I'm there is check how level the fingerboard is. Oh my goodness, there is not a gap anywhere, and we'll follow it again right up the edge in a straight line. Don't follow it like that because that's a cone shape. We'll follow it like this, and we'll have a look again. And that, my friends, is wonderful, wunderbar. Let's have a look there. That is a straight neck, a straight fingerboard. Fantastic. The zero dials have not moved. And again, let me just check. Oh, that's wonderful. That is as straight a neck as I've had in this workshop. What it is now, fantastic stuff. Not a gap anywhere. So, one thing left to do. I could go for a 12 block with some paper on there, which I have. Oh, wonderful that I have a 12 with some 400 grit on there. I have a 400 grit just to smooth off, because I've done it with 240 grit, so just to smooth this off. That's fantastic. Brush that all off. And that is, barring the chips, almost ready for a refret. That looks fantastic. Let me just get some give this a wipe over, just a little bit of white spirit. And there you go. That'll just clean, that'll evaporate. Look at that. That's how it's going to look once it's oiled. Doesn't that look beautiful? Looks fantastic. I'll probably get some naphtha on there, just dry that out. Can I reach it? No, I can't see it at the moment. So that's it. So I'm going to fill in these chips. You've seen me filling chips before. I will get some strips of silicone down in there. So I can just drop some rosewood dust in there, a bit of super glue. Get these all filled in. It's going to take me a couple of hours. Once that's done, we can come and clean all the slots out and we can start getting the frets in. Welcome back, guys. I'm hoping you can see that we have repaired all of the chips in the fingerboard, or at least anything that's going to be seen. But it's not just that, not anything that can be seen. We have repaired all of the chips that need repairing. I can't remember how many there were, but you'll see also this appears to be liquid coming out of the fret slots, and that is because once I'd repaired the chips and re-sanded the fingerboard, I've gone across with some 240 grit and some 400 grit. So we've got the fingerboard all sanded off at radius, which is great. I've gone across and sprayed a load of mineral oil all over the fingerboard and got it into the slots, and that's because I want to soften this wood ever so slightly before I glue the frets in. And my reason for that is, well, basically I want the wood softened, or especially the slot softened. So I'm going to wipe it off as such, and you'll see that we have repaired the fretboard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe out all the gunk or anything that's residing in these slots. These slots are all ready for frets. This looks fantastic. Any chips you are seeing are not going to go outside of the fingerboard. There's nothing of any great depth left on it. I've filled all the chips in that needed filling in. And like I said, I'm just going to go in with a small saw. We're going to remove what we can of the oil. Keep wiping, keep cleaning. There's not going to be a great deal in here, it's just we need to remove anything. If there's any gunk in there, but all of these slots are ready for frets. There you go, just oil in there. So it means we removed all the gunk. Again, just oil in there. I'll remove and I'll get out all that I can. I'll go in them once or twice, just check in. If you hear any heavy breathing on this video, it's my dog, he's just behind me now. I put the halogen heater on, and we've just come back from the pub, and a couple of pints. We had 2 pints of Murphy's, and my dog now is laid in front of a halogen fire, in a ball, semi-sleeping, loving life, as he does. But there you go. And I'm thinking this neck is ready for frets. It looks wonderful. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing here. I've got a spotlight on there. You're right there, Ross. Yep, he's only he's lifted his head. He's such a good boy. Is the fire good enough for you, Ross? He's going, yes, nice. So there you go. These slots are ready for new frets. A little bit of oil in there. I will turn this guitar about face for 30 minutes. Move the tools out of the way. And once any excess oil seeps out, we'll be ready for installing the new frets. There you go. So I can leave that like so. That'll be absolutely fine. We've got here. Stick that on there. So the neck is level on the towel there, just to soak up any oil residue. Could leave that 30 minutes, let all the oil soak out. Once that's done, we'll move it over to the fretting bench, and we will start to install the frets. When we're putting frets into a fingerboard or into a neck, right, we need to make sure that the neck is supported in the best way possible. And I mean fully supported. That means that under the area we're going to be hammering frets in, like this area, we need full support underneath. And the good thing about his Michael Kelly guitars is it has a perfectly flat back. And what I've done is I've got the flat back down on the bench. We have a padded bench anyway, and what I've done is supported the neck in this area with a neck support with plenty of cloth underneath supporting, piece of wood on the neck, and we have clamped it down, not super tight, but this area of the guitar is perfectly clamped down. It cannot move. It's fully supported in all areas underneath, so if we hit this hard with a hammer, we're not going to put any stress on this neck. Right, it is absolutely properly totally supported underneath. Now if this was a Gibson, we won't be able to support it like this because the body underneath and the neck is different to what it is on this guitar. So we have this guitar firmly set on the bench. We have this end of the neck clamped, we're supported underneath, we can't mark anything, and I can bang in all of these first 12 frets, which I'm going to have to do. I'm thinking get all up to the 12th fret put in by hand. So I'm going to prepare myself some Titebond. We're going to use Titebond as not as glue but as a filler between the gap from a tang of a fret and underneath the fret. So we're going to fill all these slots with some glue, some Titebond original. We're going to hammer the frets in one by one, and I'm going to go down to the 12th fret. It's the only way I can do it. Once I've got these 12 in, we're going to get a radius block on there, an aluminium one, and we're going to clamp these first 12 frets down. Once that's done and I'm happy that they're clamped down and I've let them set, probably give them an hour or two, we're going to go and we're going to put all the rest of them in using the fret press over on the other bench. You will see everything being done. Pretty straightforward for me. You may be thinking, oh, this is pretty technical, and you've got, oh wow, look at this and the pressure and blah 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 blah. There's no pressure on this. This is something I do every day of the week. Very, very simple. You'll also note and see that these fret slots are all beautiful. I've filled in all the chipped areas. It took me a few hours, but they look fantastic. Once these frets are in, you will never know that, well, you'll never know what frets have ever been out. So stay tuned. I'll come back and give you an update shortly. So we're not going to be gentle with this. What we're going to do is we're going to get some Titebond original. Just going to tip a little bit, or actually a lot, on a plastic lid there. Far too much. I'll just get some of that back in the bottle. No point wasting stuff, and that's fine. What we're going to do is I'm just going to three at a time for now. Fill 3 slots. Like I say, not pretty. I'm going to give it a second just to find a level. I've got a bowl full of soapy water just behind the camera there. And there you go. Wipe off. Need another cloth. Got one for wetting, one for drying. Fretting hammer. I've not got anything prepared. I'm going to take fret 24. I'm going to place it where I need it to be. I'm just going to gently knock it into place. Notice I put the edges in first. Something else I didn't do was take out my caul, which is something I should have done. That's okay, I've got plenty of time. Here's a 12, we've got the 12 here, 12-inch radius caul. of a 12-inch radius, and all I'm going to do is place that above the fret, hold it each side. We're just going to check that that fret is well seated. It certainly looks well seated to me. Very, very happy with that. It doesn't probably doesn't take as much banging as that to get them in. Next one. Again, not something everyone does, taking the call. I always take the call. Check again. Very well seated, looks fine. Next one. Again, side. And I'm probably taking my time a little bit more than I normally would. I know you can't see with my hand in the way, but that's just... it's just unfortunate. I think you can see... I think you can see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to take the damp cloth again. I'm just going to wipe up any glue residue, any squeeze out. I've actually not had any, which is surprising, which means those slots are full. And that, my friends, is how I'm putting the frets in at this end. Make sure everything is well seated. Seems fine, and that is it. And I'm going to crack on, get them all done right until we get to the 12th fret, probably even the 11th. That should be enough, and we'll take it from there. So I have as many as I can do just using the hammer. We have 13 in, 11. Oh, hang on. Do we have 13 in? Yeah, we're 13. No, we're 12 in, 10 to go. 1, 2. Do we have 12? Is it like, yeah, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in. That's really, really good. I've checked the level. We're level all the way across. We've got a little bit of extra height on this one here for whatever reason, but I've checked it. It is sitting correct, so we're going to leave that as is. Oh, this one may be a little bit high in the middle actually. Let's just... have a look where we are. That was pretty okay to me. We look to be seated pretty okay. You will get the odd one now and again that has a little bit of extra height somewhere. It's a little bit high on that side. It's fine there, fine in the middle. It's a little bit high in the middle. We'll get all this done on leveling. But they are in pretty well. I have cleaned up the 12-inch radius beam. We're going to get this clamped on there. I'm going to undo this clamp right now. And I am ready to get this clamp on there. We're going to clamp those in overnight and just have them pressed in overnight. I will finish the rest off tomorrow on the fret press, so come back for that. Hey guys, so all the frets are in. I managed to get the frets in this morning, Thursday morning it is. It's the first day this week I've been able to get in the workshop because I've been so busy with my regular job. And I've been anxious to get on this. Now all these frets went in pretty much okay, not perfectly level, but pretty level. I had one up here was being a bit stubborn. I think it was fret 13. Was it 13 or was it 15? But I had to pull out and put back in because it wasn't seeming to seat correctly. It was seated correctly, just seemed to be higher than everyone else, but I took it out, put it back in. This one I couldn't get in on the press, so I hammered this one in, the first one. That's got in beautifully, and we're all in, and we're just going to quickly check the level. But once the level's done, we're ready to get them levelled up. Now the levelling we'll be doing, I'll probably be doing the beveling first. We'll do the levelling last. That one's a bit high in the middle. and not that it matters, we're going to level the lot anyway. I'm just going to mark off where these bay lead work. They're pretty good. Nothing untoward or worrying here. Nothing just giving me any anxiety. This one's a little bit. All I need to do is when it's a little bit high, I just need to check that they are seated fine, and they are seated fine. We've got two little areas at the moment, and all this is just to give me a bit of a reference. That one's really high on that corner, but again, seems to be seated okay. So does happen. I could always take a hammer to it and just knock it a little bit more just to make sure it is seated correctly. So I've got 4. Check the seating. Looks pretty good to me. If anything wasn't seated right, I'd oik it out and we'd cut a new nut, cut a new fret, and we'll put a new one in there. Just checking as they go on, they're all seated fine. So from where you're looking, you'll be seeing that the fingerboard is really smooth, which it is because we replaced or repaired all the chips, we smoothed it all off. That was really high. You always get this one with the one where the body joins the neck and the body meet, and that one is high as well. Oh, sorry, that's really high, that side. That is not seated correctly, that's going to come out. I believe that's at number 17. I'm going to put a line all the way across that. I'm going to knock that back in a short while. Again, it seems to be seated fine. I'll have a look at it again in a bit. There may be something right under that tang there, because there's like a little bit as you're getting toward the binding that actually is a little bit higher than the actual slot. The slots themselves are about 2.5–3 mil deep. I think it's just the nature of refrets that you just get stuff so high, because that one again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to level them. See how we are. 17's worrying me a little bit. I think that one is sat a bit high. That was a little bit high, but again, it's sat perfect. It's sat nice. If there's any fret worrying me here, it's number 17. It's too hot. It's too high. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's not a problem at all. 17 is a little bit worrying. Let's just check it again. That's stupidly high. Let's just see the difference there. It's not too bad there. I'm just gonna probably just get under that guitar, on the guitar there, and I'm just gonna knock that down. I'll come back and let you know how it goes on. So I've tapped everything down this end down, and it's not made any difference. So I can only assume, and will only assume, that these frets are correctly seated. It's just high. It's how they go sometimes. If I was worried about anything, I'd take it out. And that all looks pretty good. So I'm going to level as they are. And I'm going to be a bit of a brute. I'm going to use my brand new levelling file, which I got from Chris Allsop on eBay. And I think it's a 300 grit diamond file. And I'm just going to I'm going to go in there. I'm going to support the neck at this end because we're getting a little bit of a wobble and we don't want that. No, it's not letting me have that support. Okay, we'll go with a regular support. And yeah, I'm absolutely fine with this. And this file does its job. Okay, so a little bit high on there, but nothing. This file really does its job very well. I think it's £24. Wasn't expensive at all. But this is the kind of file you need to get you close to where you want to be. Still high on that corner. Concentrating really on this one fret. It really is quite high on that far side. And if I'm not happy with it, I will take it out and I'll replace it. Just going to see if that's pinging back. It's not pinging back. And there you go, we're pretty close to where we need to be. Certainly at this end now. And what I'm going to do is just find out this high one again. I think it's this. Is it this one? That one there. So it will be 15, 17, fret 19. I'm going to take my Swiss file. I love this file. Number 4 cut Swiss file. Fret number 15, 17, 19. I'm just going to I don't think this fret's seated right. That feels pretty good. And that's saying it is now level, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay. Got to go across from fret 17. I'm going to go across with my Valorb number 4 cut Swiss file, which is super sharp, super smooth. It's a brilliant file. I'm just going to check the state of the frets at this end. So from here to the end there, I'm going to get flat side down, which is this side. I'm just going to run across the radius and just see where we are. And that is saying at this end we are just about level. It has removed all of the pen. That's beautiful. You'll feel it. If there's any resistance here, you cut in. If there's no resistance, you're level. I'm loving it that side. Tiny bit of resistance this side. That's beautiful. So from fret 17 onwards, these frets should all now be level. Fret 17. And that's all the work done down that end. And you basically see me doing that live. And that, my friends, is wonderful. Really, really happy with that. So we're level from 15 onwards. 17 onwards. So let's go back from 17. Being really spot on with this measuring now. I'm marking the exact area where it starts to be high and where it finishes to be high. Centimetre there, centimetre there. Go back and check these ones again. Feels good. Put 8mm there. I wasn't quite so careful when I first started checking. I was just doing a quick check, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to get it spot on. So right on some of the edges there. Show 17 again. Yeah, I can feel it now. Centimetre, 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 centimetre. So 4 little spots. That's good. Good. Still a little bit high there. Let the file do the work. The file will let you know when you're smooth or when you're level. Again, number 4, Swiss number 4 cut file. This is not the complete leveling, this is just getting the frets close to where they need to be. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. I had a guy come to service a boiler and he's been and gone. Took about an hour. In the meantime, what I've done is I've gone and levelled the high spots on my frets. We're not levelled fully yet. I've been across with my levelling file, 300 grit diamond file, perfectly flat from Chris Allsop. And what I've started doing is doing the beveled edges, and I'm not beveling them, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing the frets right up close to the edge, right up to the binding. And it's just a matter of, great thing about this file is you can't dig into the guitar with it. You're just even laying it flat on the side there. And it's just a matter of just coming up the sides there. Now there's an easy way to do this. I could hold this in a vise and have it stood up in the playing position, which I'm going to do when I'm finishing off. But for now, just a matter of getting close. I'm not as much beveling with this file as I am just getting close to the edge. So we've got the edges of the frets right up to the binding. And I keep checking that we're not cutting into the binding, which we're not. And it's really, really easy to do it this way. Keep checking that we're not going into the binding because we don't do it. And once we get close, we can then come in with the safe edge down on the flat file and we can finish off this way. I'm holding with these fingers and filing with my hand. Safe edge down so we can't cut into anything. And this again. When we get close to the binding, this is not going to do anything. It's not going to cut into anything. If anything, it's going to smooth off the edge of the lacquer that's there. Ideally, would be better off holding the vise, which is what I'm going to do when I get to the intricate part of this. And we're getting close now to where we need to be. That's feeling pretty good. And we're right up there, right up to the edge. That's beautiful. We're not going to feel any of this. That's great. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'm also going to get the guitar in the vise so I can do it easier. And once we're flush to the edge, we'll come back and we'll do those bevels. Onto the beveling. What I've done is with the guitar laid flat, I come right up to the edge with a coarse file, then a smooth file, so we didn't get into the binding. And what we do is taking my Swiss file again, number 4 cut, flat side down. Start the bevel and just, get into it. Make sure we've got these edges all smooth. There's no resistance on these edges at all. It's only when we start beveling we're going to get a resistance. We're just going to make sure that these edges are all tied in, but we've got nothing sticking out beyond the binding. And that feels pretty good. That feels very good. Now once that's done, we're going to take again the leveling file. Going to bring it in and we're just going to take the bevel to about 10-15 degrees, or between 15 and 20 degrees should I say. And I'm going to start beveling. I'm going to keep my eye on the binding to make sure we're not cutting too close to the binding, because we don't want to be cutting the binding, we just want to be going close. And you get a feel for it. And what we're doing is we're just creating that bevel. And I'm doing it all basically by guesswork. I kind of know where I need to be. And that is feeling really nice. A nice tight bevel, nothing too mental. We're probably about 10 degrees at this end. It's going to give us a lot more fret to play with. And let the file do the work. Really nice. Just checking the bevel there. Beautiful bevel, nice and even, nothing too much. We go back to the smooth file. This is how we're going to finish them off. I'll do two or three passes each side with this until I'm happy with the bevel. I've got the safe side down. I'm going to start at this end. And we're just going to smooth off, because that file is coarser one I've been using. This is a fine cut file. A bit more of a bevel towards this end than there is at the top end. Try and keep the bevel pretty much uniform. And that is as smooth as anything. I'm really, really pleased with that. Again, just check the bevel, check down the line. Pleased with how that's gone. So that's that side done. I'm going to flip the guitar over, do the other side, and then we'll get it back on the bench. We'll get it flat again, and we'll just do one more check. And once that's done, once I'm happy, we can start getting the recrowning, leveling, recrowning and polishing done. Once I've got the bevels close to where I want them to be, I'll finish off by hand with the guitar laying flat on its back. I can already feel down the edge, there's nothing sticking out, super smooth. But I'm now going to control my bevels, and I like to get this right in close to the table so I can have it into my chest, so I've got something pushing back. Safe-sided the file down, angle it to where I want it, like so. And it's just a matter of getting this bevel where I want it. And I try to stay just inside the binding there. I don't want to come over the binding. I don't want too much of a bevel, but I definitely want one there. But what that gives us is, it gives us a huge amount of fret to work with. We can bend right up to the binding if we need to, or if we want to. So not a lot of bevel there at all. We're probably looking at 10 degrees. 10-15 degrees is plenty. Don't see why we'd have to go 35 degrees like they recommend. Too much. But here we go. But this is smoothing it all off. Down to this side, I'll support the neck with this hand. And again, just over and just angle to where I want it. If we get caught like that, we'll come back again. This is going to get in the way. We could even go like that for one, so I'm just going to get it up that end. I know the angle I want, and that's all feeling good there. I mean, I can do this stud up as well. There's many different angles I can do this. I just like to finish off. Well, more control. The neck's steady. And when I get to this end, I can just have this in on my chest, and it's not going to move anywhere. And that is it, and that is that side beveled exactly how I want it. Nice tight bevel there. We're certainly staying inside where the binding finishes, which is going to give us a lot of fret to work with. So that's one side done. Super smooth all the way down the side, nothing's going to stick in it. And once we get to rounding over these edges, which I've shown you many times, safe edge of the file, round it over, 3 strokes should get you there. You can go with 5, and there you go, and we've just rounded those edges of the bevel over. We've softened those edges. Once we come over all here with some sandpaper later, they're going to be super smooth. I wouldn't normally do this without tape on there, because we could possibly cut into the binding. I haven't, because I'm very careful with the file, but we're going to round these over all nice. Once we've got this side done, we'll come back, we'll get everything taped up, and we'll get everything, we'll get the leveling done, and we'll move on to the recrowning. I'm sure I've told you that before. With the edges beveled, and I mean these are hardly beveled at all, there's not a lot of bevel in there, which I really like. It means the bevels are coming about halfway in to the binding, which means we're going to have so much more playable fret, or much more area on the fret to play. We're going to have a whole width of the neck to play. Now I've done a basic level on the frets. I removed the high parts, or the most material that needed removing. What we're going to do is we're going to level these proper. Well, I always do the proper leveling after I've done the bevels and the edges, making sure we've got nothing sticking out. There's a little bit, but we're going to address that issue later. So what I must do now is I'm going to be taping up the whole fingerboard. I've cleaned the fingerboard, I've washed it, I've let it dry. Not washed it, I'm just with a damp cloth, just give it a rub over. What I must do before I get this all taped up is I must ensure that the neck is absolutely straight, because once I've got it taped up, there's no going back. That is the level I am working to. So, not straight edge, 4mm Allen wrench. This is a 2-way truss rod adjuster. I've already adjusted it. I've got the neck dead straight. Very, very happy with that. So now what I could do is, by the way, I just want to show this tool. This is from my friend Harris at GMI in Greece. I've seen this guy making these tools. These are the best tools you're going to get in Europe. They're better than Stumac. I've had dodgy fret rockers from Stumac, but the fret rocker I got from GMI is absolutely spot on, as is this notched straight edge, ground perfectly straight to within an nth of in a metre. GMI, fantastic stuff. Look, aluminium, look how thick it is, good weight to it. It's got a Gibson scale, Fender scale on there, beautiful piece of kit. I cannot recommend GMI enough. He actually sent me that as a gift, by the way, for doing a review of his fret rocker. I'm going to buy a lot more tools from him as well. I'm prepared to pay full price, no problem. But anyway, back to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape up the fingerboard. I have 3 different widths of tape to do so. And before I tape inside the frets, so we can level them and we don't get any crap under the frets, I'm going to put tape just along the whole length. Just so when I come to remove the tape, I can pull it underneath and just pull it all off in one go. It'll become self-explanatory in a minute, I guarantee it. See which I've got this tape over. I've got more of this tape than I have the thin stuff, so I'm going to use this. Because I like to try and finish a roll, or finish rolls at the same time. That's my dog knocking a ball down the stairs. I mean, nice one, Ross. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm just going to start off, just right up as close to the top without overlapping as you can. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to do this end, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to go about the same amount. It just means when I come to removing this stuff, I can just grab the part that goes along the length, like this. So I'm going to do it so that way, when I put this tape on this way, I've got like a tear strip underneath, it'll bring it all off in one go. So let's just show you there. And I'm going to tape up the whole fingerboard like so. And when I come to the parts where I need, I've got bits left like this, what I'll do is, actually let's do another one. And what I'm going to do is I'll just tear down the middle, and what I'll do is, here, a bit of an overlap there. Can you see exactly how this is working, yeah? And I'm going to tape up the whole fingerboard just like this. As I get further up the neck, I'll use thinner and thinner tape, doing the same thing, doing the full bits and overlaps until we get down to using that one. Once that's done, right, I can come along and can get these frets leveled and start getting the beveling all tidied up. I'll show you more of that when I get to it. Now we've established that the neck is straight, we have it all taped up, what we're going to do is we're going to level the frets. Even though we've not finished the bevels yet, the bevels will be one of the last things we do once we've levelled and got the frets crowned properly, because there's no point filing these beveled edges and removing the burrs until we've got them to be the right shape. Now levelling, when we level these, we're going to flatten the tops of these frets. It means we're not going to have this proper arc on the bevels at the edge. It's like an upside down D shape. So now we've got the edges all cut in and the bevels done, I'm going to be doing the levelling next. Got a really good marker pen here. It's actually a whiteboard marker, but it marks these really, really well. Going straight over the top. I'm going to go across with some 400 grit sandpaper on a levelling beam. Now my levelling beam is a 2x1 inch piece of steel box section, milled perfectly flat along its edges. Well, one of the edges is perfectly flat, I discovered recently, but one of them isn't. So I'm going to use the one edge. I've got 240 grit sandpaper on there. It's been used a few times before, so it's worn in, which is great, which means it's not going to remove too much material. But it will give us a good level. Once that is done, I'll be coming across with a 12-inch radius block with 400 grit sandpaper just to smooth off everything. So we're going to go just with a regular, there it is, levelling beam, 2x1 inch steel box section, piece of 240 grit on there, and we're just going to up and down, and the frets are more or less level anyway. If we remove all of this pen in just a few strokes like we have done, we know that the frets are all level. There's one slightly higher one just there, we're just going to go into there, turn it over, that's all of the pen removed. So the frets should be level. We're going to take the fret rocker. Just going to check everything. All of the pen is removed. Means the frets are level. 3 areas: far side, centre, near side. I'm going to be quiet so I can hear. Listening for a rock. Check this one again because there's a bit of pen there. No, there's not. It's fine. So these frets are level. Like I say, it's not the leveling that takes the time. So I'm moving the fret rockers just so I can do 3 frets at a time. The next part for me is the fun part, because I've got the StewMac Z file. It makes crowning the frets so easy. And we're going to be going on to crowning shortly. Just want to check that these frets are all level. These are wonderful. And they are level. That is fantastic. I'm just going to check. We're using a not straight edge, but not on fingerboard. We're going to just move the notches over slightly, and this will give us a level. So we sat now on top of the frets, and there should be no gap on any of these frets. And there isn't, and that is fantastic. So we have the frets properly level. Good thing about this, and you can use it for so many times. I've probably done about 4 fret levels with this, and the paper's still good for fret leveling more. It will still remove material, even though it's not as coarse as it was. So we are ready to crown the frets. I'm going to find my brush, and again, same as before. I'm going to mark. Be a little bit more careful marking them now, because I need this pen on the top, because what we're going to do is we're going to be removing the edges of the fret but not the top, and we're going to build where we've levelled the frets and we've got a flat bit across the top. We're going to rebuild that crown going this way. It's like an upside down D shape, imagine that. And we're just going to rebuild that crown, but we're going to leave a thin line of black pen down the centre of the frets. Now I have a special file from StewMac called a Z file, and it cuts more on one side than it does the other, and then you turn it over 180 degrees and it does the opposite. It cuts less one side than it does the other. And the good thing about that is it cuts that perfect arc, and it doesn't touch the top of the fret. It leaves that line down the middle. Now we're looking for a line in the region of around about 0.5 millimetre, and that will be the contact point between the string and the top of the fret. And the smaller we have it, the less chance of getting any boards, but we don't want it small where it's going to cut the string, or it's going to be too small. That's why we crown frets, but this file I've got basically crowns them for you. So I have everything penned up. I think I'm going to move the camera closer just so you can see exactly what I'm doing, because I'm going to show you a couple, and I've shown you a couple, I'm going to crack on and do the rest off camera. So there you go, we have penned the top of each fret. I'm going to tidy some of my tools away. The stuff I don't need to be there, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to put a cloth under this to make it easier to clean up the mess later. So give me a couple of minutes and I'll bring you back. Not the best camera angle, but it will do. So, recrowning. What we're looking to do is just leave a thin black line down the centre of each fret. I have 2 files to do this job. One, the best file ever made for doing the job. It's a Z file by StewMac. It has two cutting edges, and if you look closely, it has a long cut and a short cut on that side. Turn it over, it has a long cut and a short cut on opposite sides, and what this does is it will make two cuts. It'll cut short on this side, long on that side. Turn it over, it'll cut short on this side, long on that side, and it should leave a nice thin line down the centre. So there you go, you see how it works. I'll just show you again. Flip it over 180 degrees, the complete opposite. So Z file by Stumac. This cost me £125. It's a diamond file. It even cuts stainless steel, though I've not used it on stainless yet, but I've done about 5 or 6 jobs on this so far, and it works absolutely fine. So how does it work? Quite easily. 4 strokes that way, turn it over 180 degrees. 4 strokes that way, and we have a lovely thin line down the centre. It means from that being flat on the top, we now have that beautiful crown going that way. And what I do then is I take another diamond file. This one has just got the right cut. It has the concave cut in there. This is a gift from a good friend of mine, Nigel Roberts, who you probably know as Leicestershire Luthier. Nigel is now in retirement. He has been taken over by his protege and apprentice Danny Lynn and his wife Natalie. They own and run LeicesterShireLuthier.co.uk. Good friends of mine, and this was a gift from Nigel Roberts, and what a wonderful gift. Just 3 strokes on there just to remove any burrs or unevenness. You'll see a thin black line down the centre of the fret, meaning we've not removed any height, but we have rebuilt that crown. Going to take the fret rocker, going to check the height, and there you go, the frets are still level. So I'm going to show you one more. Always wipe the file after a use, because there will be residue on there. See that? And again, 4, turn it over, and again, wipe the file. This one, Nigel always told me to do a wet wipe with this, then a dry wipe. That's what I'll do. 3 strokes with this, and there you go. Black line down the centre. Again, check for any height loss. There isn't any. Go 1. I'm going to show you one more, reason being, I'll show you why we always check back 1 forwards and backwards. So there you go. Not going to talk so much on this one, just going to do it. And again, check the height. We've not removed anything. Check 1 back. Check 1 forwards, and there you go. We have maintained the height because we've not removed anything from the middle, and we've recrowned each one like so. I'm going to crack on, get the other 21 done. Once that's done, we can move on to, what we're going to do is we're going to roll over the, in fact I'm going to show you one now. Let me just turn that, that's okay. I'm just going to show you now, because we've got this bevel on the edge now. What I'm going to do is going to roll these bevels. I'm going to take my Swiss number 4 cut file, Swiss made by Valor, my favourite file. Just going to come out a little bit, there you go. Nearly lost the camera there. Give it a good wipe. We have a safe edge this side, so what we're going to do is with the safe edge down and the tape intact, because we now got the bevel, I'm going to roll the bevel, and it's just a matter of 1, 2, 3, and that has removed any burrs or any sharpness from the edge. I'll just show you that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now when I come to sanding these later, when I'm rolling them over with sandpaper later, they're going to become even smooth. That's removed any burrs from that side. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do that once I've got all of the frets recrowned. So again, make sure I've got pen on there so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get these all recrowned. I'm going to get these all rolled over with a file. And then we're going to come back, we're going to get on to the polishing stage. What a lovely part of the job now, and it's, I love doing this. It's very therapeutic, and it's rounding over the bevels. Now you see, when I edged these frets, we filed them right down to the edge of the guitar. Then I put the bevels in at a very, I only go with about a 10-15 degree angle on my bevels. Some people go with a 35 degree one, but that takes too much of your fret away. But once we've made this bevel on here, what we need to do is, the edges are still quite sharp and we need to roll them over. And I've started at this end, and I take my number 4 cut Swiss made file by Valorbe. Beautiful file, this, so smooth yet so sharp. And it does have a safe edge where there's no cut on it. So safe edge down. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be rolling over. You're not going to see from where you are, but I file over and just roll over, and just over the top there like that. And what that does is, it just softens the edge of the fret. It just takes that cut off it. And I'm going to show on this one, and you'll probably see a little bit better. And always keeping your file clean. And you can do this in 3 strokes when you get good at it, and it's just a matter of, you've got a safe edge down, so you're not going to cut into anything. I'm going to roll and roll away from the camera. On this side I'm going to roll and roll toward the camera, then I'm just going to go over the top. And it's 3 strokes, and it's really simple like that, and over the top. And what we've done is we've taken that sharp edge off the bevel there. And it really is that simple. You can do it in 3 strokes. A lot of people do it in 5. I'm that used to do it now. 3's alright. You have to be a little bit more careful at the body end of the guitar, because you don't want to be digging into it. It's why we tape it all up. But we've got plenty of room here. And what I will be doing with this, once I've got them all done, is I'll do my first polish run with some 400 grit sandpaper, which I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab some in a minute. But it really is that simple. Just to roll over, and you're taking away all those sharp burrs from that abrupt edge on the bevel there. And once I've done that, I'm going to get a piece of 400 grit paper now, see where I am. Yeah, I'm doing well. Right, I'm going to take a piece of, I haven't got any out. I don't look like I've got any out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of 400 grit sandpaper, just going to cut a little piece off. I don't like stuff that's got aluminium oxide in it. I don't like anything with aluminium in it. My dad passed on riddled with cancer. It's because he worked with aluminium all his life, and he didn't know it was poisonous. One of the most poisonous substances on the planet. And he was riddled with cancer, and it was because of the aluminium he was polishing all his life. But anyway, what we do is get some sandpaper, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll them over like this. And that's as much as we need to do, and it just removes all of that sharp edge on there. And I can also do it with some, I've got some 400 here, look. 600 grit would probably be a little bit better. But anyway, I'm going to crack on with that. Once that's done, let's check what I'm up to. We're going to polish these frets with 6 different grits of sandpaper, coming up through the grits from 600 grit, 800 grit, 1000 grit, 1200 grit, 1500 grit, 2000 grit, so 600 through 2000. What it's going to do is it's going to remove all the scratches, and we're using a finer grit each time. We're going to remove all the scratches and bring these frets to a fine polish. And they're going to be scratch free, and they're going to be glass-like smooth when they're done. Now, when I get to this end of the guitar, I've got to be really careful, because I don't want to be digging into the body, so I don't have much cutting room. See there? I could do with a smaller file, I'll be honest. I'm going to get myself a smaller one soon. This is a 6-inch one. I could have done with 4. Might just go forwards and back on these just to get the right enough cut on there. And that's pretty good. See, now I can't just do the 3 strokes like I was doing. I've got to work a little bit harder. And that looks fine. So I'm going to crack on. We'll do the other side off camera. I'll take the paper. And I'm just going to... This probably is a bit too coarse, I'll be honest. Okay. Very hard fret wire this, so you can really go at it. And once you've got a little bit of space, you can, there you go, look, you can really go into it now. You just want it so when you run down, there's nothing going to cut you. That is super smooth all the way down now. And once this is done, it's just a matter of getting the frets polished. Once you're polished, really simple. We get the nut back on, get some strings on, and get it set up. So we're getting to the end of the whole job here. This will be finished today. Probably finished in the next couple of hours, which is great because a bit behind on my guitar work. I'm thinking I could get 4 finished today. I've already finished one. I've started a fret level and I've got this one to do a couple of hours. And I've got a bit of gluing to do, a bit of refinishing to do, should I say, on an acoustic. They don't get old and today, it doesn't matter. But I've not worked at Royal Mail today or yesterday, which is brilliant. I've had 2 full days in the workshop, which is fantastic. That's a rarity. It's not going to be out after next week because I start my full-time hours at Royal Mail next week. So there, I think I'm good. I'm just going to a little bit extra on these. And that's it, and that's that side done. So I'm going to turn my guitar around. I'm going to do this side, and then it's just a matter of getting all the frets polished up. What have I done with my little zapper? I can't find it. I'll go manual. The frets are done. I've finished polishing with finest grade steel wool. Been across with 6 grits of paper, well 7 grits of paper if you count 400. So basically 400 through to 2000, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000. There were 7 grits we used. Gone through with finest grade steel wool, super fine. Give them a right good polish right into the corners, right over top. They look fantastic. So what we're going to do is we need to put a new nut on here. I've just remembered that. I forgot we're putting a new nut on. So I'm going to take off this tape, the tail of the tape. And you'll see now why I put these strips underneath lengthways. It's so we can peel tape off quite easily, like so, like that. This fingerboard I believe was stained to look like, it might be ebony, but it's definitely stained to look like ebony because it's actually brown now. I've peeled the tape off. But this is how we, guys, frets look amazing. Bear with me while I get all this off. And then we're going to look at installing a new nut. Now I have bought some, I think I bought some Hosco nut blanks. And they're not blanks as such, they are actually pre-slotted and they're cut not exactly to width, but the spacing will be right, string spacing and everything. So they'll basically go, you don't just put them straight on, you have to do some work, you do have to carve them. And get the height set and blah blah blah. You get where I'm going with that. I'll show you exactly what I mean in a minute. Now, if I was cutting a nut from a blank, I'd be charging £60 just for the nut. But because these are semi-blank anyway, well I actually include it in the price of a refret, so not really an extra, but I'd normally charge 40 odd quid, 45 quid including the nut. Anyway, that's the tape off. Let's have a look at these frets. A looking glass there. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're really good. I don't know if this will make a difference to what you can see, but they are very, very good. Now, it might be a little bit of tape residue here and there, or or somewhere where the tape got ripped before, so I might get a little bit of a bump in there. It's not going to be a problem. We're going to oil the fingerboard anyway. But what I need to do is, like I say, get everything prepared for the new knot. These threads look great. Woo! I could remove all this blue tape now, but I'm going to do it in a bit, nice and steady, because I don't want to rip any paint off or any binding off with it. So I'll take it off nice and steady. It is low tack anyway. Clean up. A few things we'll need to do. Clean up the headstock there. It's all looking pretty good. And we're certainly going to have to clean up this area where we remove the old nut, because it takes a little bit of wood out with it. We're going to file this down, get it nice and smooth. So the old nut, is this the old nut? Oh, actually, we might be okay with the old nut yet. I can't with the old one, because it just doesn't fit right. That's not the old one, that's not off there. The old one was a black one, that's why. Yeah, there you go. I could put the old nut on. Sits right there. The old nut, I think, is going to be too low because we're going with a higher fret. So we're going to get rid of the old nut, which is a good idea, because look, it's a hollow one, it's graphite. We have a brand new bone one here. I think the width is just about right. Let's get it out. But it certainly is too high. Now what I'm going to need to do is, yeah, the width is perfect. So nothing to be done with the width, but I do need to get some, it's far too high. I'm going to chuck that one. It's about 2 mil too high, which is a good thing. It's not going to glue to there because the base is chipped. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take, I remember where I put them. There you go, I've got some flat files here. Got a flat one. Yeah. Can be difficult, but I'm going to take my time. We're just going to remove the old glue. Just going to put a little bit of pressure there with my thumb, and we're just going to remove some of that old crap in there, get a nice flat base. There's no safe edge on here, so we're going to be cutting all the time, but this is how we're getting this nice and flat now. Once we start getting white on there, let me clean that up. Just while removing that old glue. Yeah, there you go. I think we're doing good there. I'm just going to scrape in there. I'm going to take, tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a Stanley blade. I'm just going to scrape any glue residue from there. I mean the file would do it anyway, but there's a bit of glue residue in there. That was pretty good. Hold down ever so lightly, just at that end. A little tiny bit of pressure, keep it straight. And I think that is nice and smooth. I'm going to cut the nut already glued in on the guitar like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some super glue on there. That is a great fit. Really, really pleased with that. So I'm going to get that on there. I'm going to come back and carve that in a short while. I wouldn't normally film this, but some people actually quite like to watch all of this stuff, so I'm going to remove the tape from the guitar body, nice and steady. Just especially with low tack, it's quite high tack for low tack I find, but still pretty good stuff. But this is the kind of stuff I can use again if it comes off clean. That didn't come off that clean. But sometimes, you know, you can just use it again for the same kind of job. So we're going to, what I'm going to do here is, That's not good now. Just take my time getting this off. That's no good. I always do extra layers here for where we're going to be bringing the file up. So all this is going to go in the bin. I'm just going to peel all this off. Nice and steady when you get to bits around the binding, because I have had little bits, flakes of paint and bits of binding pull off before. You can see why we cover all this up so we don't get any filings or anything in the pickle holes. You don't always have to remove pickles, but these I couldn't get them low enough to work around them, so I decided to just remove them. And again, look at that, really clean. Saves us getting damage to anywhere on the guitar body. Even if you ding with a file, you're not going to damage anything because you're protected. And she'll come off pretty well. Still take your time. And seriously, people do like to watch this kind of stuff. Beats me. But there you go, that's the body all clean. I will get a cleaning solution on there in a bit and we'll wipe off. There's no residue anyway, but we'll still give it a good wipe. But what I can do now is I can get the pickups back on the guitar. And here are the pickups. And I should know which is which by the pickup ring. And I know which way it goes. So here we go. Screws should be 4 screws to each. Was it? Yeah, 4 screws to each. You can't really muck these up. There was 4 screws under that one, so you can't really mess these up because they only go on one way. It's normally the way that you see. So it's a matter of putting on the quick connector there, dropping them in, and that really is, that's as difficult as it is. How fantastic is that? Like I say, things I don't normally film. Thinking to myself, who really wants to see this? But some of you actually do, so you know. Now I did have this guitar plugged in. It's pretty good. I've just glued the nut in. That needs a lot of work. I've just carved one of the slots for 46 because it's been set up for a 1046 set. And we're going to carve quite a way in. This nut is very, very high. But the width is perfect, so I'm really pleased with that. Okay, that's one pickup in. Now, those 2 screws will be for the, I'm sure 3. Before the truss rod cover. You can quick connect, you only go, can't really get these wrong. Well, you can get them wrong because I've done it before. It's just this one is about getting it. You don't have a lot of room here to play with, you've got to get it at the right angle. And that's not going on at all. Get this connector in the right place. I'm limited by the room I've got to do this, so don't know where the pig's ear of that. Ah, there you go, there you go. That was on. Very good. Oh, that pickup ring's really, really tight there. Very strange. But yeah, some of you like to watch everything being done, which is fine. I'm considering one day going live on YouTube doing a refret live, the whole caboodle. And you can see how much work actually goes into a refret. You know, I estimate between 12 and 18 hours depending on the job, depending if you need to radius a fingerboard and repair chips or whatever. And you probably go even longer than that, probably goes 20 hours. And I'd actually do it live, you know, over a couple of days. Something I might do in the future, considering it depends. It all depends on what hours I have spare. With me now working at Royal Mail, it's been really hard to get in the workshop this week. It's my second day. I didn't work at Royal Mail yesterday, and I've not worked at Royal Mail today, so I've had 2 full days in the workshop. And it's good because I'll have 3 or 4 guitars done. And that's great. So there's a big hook's in. So we're getting close to the end now. I need to get the 3-way reattached. I'll just take the back cover off. Those can go back in the pot. I seem to have mislaid. Oh no, truss rod screws there. That's fine. Okay, this little gubbin's here. Put the knob back on. Gives me something to get a plier onto. I have various little pliers knocking about. Here's one, pretty good. This will find it should bite itself. What I'll do is I'll take the back cover off in a moment. Just get some purchase on the back there, and we'll just tighten this up. Maybe I'll just do it as it is. We'll see. That seems pretty okay. Putting a longer plier on there. That'll be okay. I'll get a hold the tip just there and pull back. I was tighten against it. Well, that seems pretty okay. There you go, up and down. I could do with that turning just a little bit, so. Happy with that, very good. So all done at this end. Pickups need to come a little bit higher than they are. String through design. So what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the nut at the moment, because I know those nut slots are way too high. I know the nut is way too high. Those look amazing. They look really, really good. So all I've got to do on the far side is now to get the bridge on there. Let's concentrate on the knot. So what I'm going to do is with my Hosco set of nut files, I'm not going to use these UO Chicky ones yet. These cut the perfect semicircle. We're going to go on to those in a bit. We're going to use the Hosco ones because the Hosco ones are sharper. I've got a 1046 set, 2 cuts per file. This will be strings 3 and 6. I'll also have one for 2 and 5 and another one for 1 and 4. So this being 3 and 6 is a 46 and a 17 cut. I've already cut the 46. I've not cut it to the correct depth, but I've cut it close to where I think it ought to be. I'm going to move on to the next one, the 36, and I'm going to get them pretty close. Angling back slightly to go with the brake angle of the headstock. I need a long ways to go yet on that one. much get in there. And what I'll do then is I'll come out with these files. I'll grab the 36 just to show you quickly. These ones, I'm not that impressed with these, they went blunt pretty quickly, but they do cut a perfect semicircle. So let's just start this one off. There is our precision file set. That's a beautiful, beautiful slot. I'm just going to take the 46 and do pretty much the same. Again, beautiful. Really liking that. And what I'll do is then, you see, I've got to start getting some strings on. And we'll start cutting them properly. Nearly cut that one with the wrong file. Now these are an old set of strings I've got knocking about over here. I don't know what guitar these came off. I've always got old strings knocking about. If I can untangle them, which will be a laugh. Probably not going to be able to, but let's see what we can do. Saves me using 2 sets of strings. Because this appears to be a full set. Bear with me, I know it's boring for you not seeing anything or just the guitar but nothing moving. But let's see where we are. This is all depends on whether I can untangle them or not. Okay. The answer to that question is not. You know what? I'll untangle these strings off camera and I'll come back to you because this could take me a while. And here we are, friends, all done. I was eager to get back home today from my shift at Royal Mail, and I've been transferred and kind of promoted. I've moved offices from Mansfield to Kirkby and Ashfield where I live, and I've done my first shift today, and I've walked over 16 miles. What do you think to that? This job is going to get me fit. But I've come back and we've got this guitar all done, and look at that, the nut's been cut. It did have a black graphite nut on before, it's now got a regular bleached bone nut. Looks fantastic, really pleased with it. The guitar became evident pretty much straight away that it needed a refret, and there you go, we've gone with Sinton's Elite fret wire, 25% nickel silver. It's the hardest nickel silver fret wire in the world. I've been using it for about a year. I've done about 10 or 11 refrets with that stuff. It looks great. Problems with this, ebony fingerboard always chips. And not only have we had to work around the binding, but we've also had to work around the abalone inlays. But we've done really, really well. It wasn't as difficult a job as you might first have thought, but it does make it a little bit more expensive because we have to work around those areas. The guitar is fantastic. I've checked the electrics. It's had a full setup, brand new nut on there, brand new bone nut. There you go. I get those nuts. That's a Hosco Japan bone nut. They rush about 10 quid. Fret wise about 15 quid. The whole fret job itself was £225 plus the price of the fret wire, price of the bone nut. Setup is included. And the guitar is done. It's a beautiful thing. It is a Michael Kelly Patriot Premium. I've plugged it in. These pickups, I don't know why, I'd imagine we're an 8160 set. They are really high output. I even had it on my clean channel and we're still distorting. So yeah, really high output pickups, really good. Just giving it a wipe over, but it is all done. It's a beautiful looking thing. Be an all mahogany guitar, mahogany neck, mahogany body, a maple cap. I'd imagine it's a maple cap, beautifully glossed, nice inlaid knobs there, routed in. What do you call it? Not inlays, it's anyway, whatever, and that's it. Nice three-way on there, beautiful thing, beautiful inlays on the frets, nice bone nut, a fantastic looking thing. Grover tuners as standard, a great looking guitar. I do believe it has Gibson strings on there, which Michael sent with the guitar. I'm not sure of a set. I imagine it's a 1046 set, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. One I'm really proud to put my name to. I'm hoping Michael's going to be pleased with it. I'm sure he is. I think I only did one of his guitars before. I think I did a Telecaster of his. I might have done an acoustic prior to that, not sure. It's always good to have returning clients. But that is it for this one. It's been quite a long one, this. With me starting working for Royal Mail and that, it's been difficult to work around certain areas. I am a couple of weeks behind on what I have on the board up there. I've rubbed all the dates off them and I've let everyone know I'm going to be running 2 weeks behind. I'm taking nothing in until, what date are we today? We're the 17th of February. I'm taking absolutely nothing in until March at the very earliest. In fact, March the 1st I'm going to the guitar show in Birmingham. I'm actually going with my friend Danny Lynn, who is Leicestershire luthier. He took over from, he's worked at Leicestershire luthier for a long time. He was Nigel Roberts' apprentice. He has now taken the business over fully. He's a good friend of mine. We get together once a month, we go for a meal, we have a chat, and we respect each other's work. And we're going to be going to the guitar show on Sunday the 1st of March. We're going together. You've got Danny Lynn, his wife Natalie, also helps out at Leicestershire luthier. I'm going with my wife Michelle. We're going to meet up at Danny's there, and we're going to drive up there together and have a day out, make a day of it. So, you know, check us out there. Look for us at the guitar show in Birmingham on the 1st of March. Come and say hello, I'd appreciate that. I will be wearing my Fret Friend t-shirt, just so you know who I am. And but this is it. This has been a fantastic project. Really enjoyed it. But it's over. It's finished, and we're going to move on to the next one. So just before I go, I'm going to remind you of my website, which is facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. You can also go to fretfriend.co.uk. I am Victor. I am your Fret Friend. And until the next project, I've lost my zapper again. Until the next project, what have we done with it? Don't know, I'll come and turn the camera off manually. Till the next one, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.